Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's premium review in which we are taking a look at the Soviet Su-6 at 4.3 beta rating. Fantastic little attacker, close air support plane, can do some support fighting in there as well. We already have two Su-6s in the game. What makes this thing special? It has a little bit of a different design because it's an earlier version. It's only at 4.3 beta rating as well. The other ones are at 5.0 and 5.3 beta rating, which is quite a bit higher than this plane. And the performance of this plane is not that much lacking compared to those other two models. So this thing is actually quite interesting, especially for the bomber and attacking pilots among us, the close air support lovers. This thing has a role to play, could be very handy as well in the ground battles. So it is a very versatile plane. You can even use her as a support fighter. This plane has good guns and well, it's not the most maneuverable plane, but as I said, as a support fighter coming in from the fringes, she can be very interesting to fly indeed. Is she fast, is then another question. The maximum speeds in this plane at sea level without WEP is 441 kilometers an hour, and with WEP 465. At 4500 meters she'll go up to 371 without WEP and 377 with WEP, and finally at 6500 meters you can take her to 303 without WEP and 314 with. Now this is actually quite decent for an attacker. She's a small plane. She doesn't have too much shit on her, so too much drag, so she keeps her speed decently well as well, especially in the horizontal. But yeah, overall quite the nice little bugger, and she's sturdy as well, by the way. But as we go through the speeds, this is in indicated airspeed without mech. The top speed in a dive is 646 kilometers an hour before she redlines, and 720 before she rips apart. Now that's only 75 kilometers an hour between the redline and the rip speed. That is closer than normal, than average, and you gotta take that into account as you go over the red line. Make sure to get out of your dive and start doing something. Not that you would be in a lot of dives in this plane, as you're usually ground attacking with this plane, but who knows what can happen. Let's see. Control stiffening. It starts actually quite late for an attacker at 500 kilometers an hour, and the second tick, which makes it very severe, lies around 640ish, just before the red line. And that can be dangerous because this plane locks up in the roll rate quite heavily at that point, and if you're still in a deep dive for something, you might have trouble rolling out of your dive. But if you're aware of that, there should be no problem. And I think most of the time you will be functioning in the horizontal, usually, because the plane does only have average vertical energy retention when it comes to that. But still, you will get some kills in the vertical with these guns, man. The 23 millimeters are lethal at the moment. I really had fun shooting with these guns. I remember the 23 millimeters quite a bit less efficient than they have been for me when flying this plane. So might want to look at some other 23 millimeter planes, but from the Soviets, and see if it's the same for those. Stall speed in this plane is 140 kilometers an hour, which is absolutely decent, not bad at all. Firepower in the plane is great. You have two 23 millimeter VYA-23. Jesus, I had some troubles pronouncing that. With 115 rounds per gun, and that is supported by four 7.62 millimeter Su6 machine guns with 750 rounds per gun, which is actually an amazing ammo load on those machine guns, so that is nice. For the rest, you have bombs, rockets and combos between the two, all different sorts, and quite attractive what this plane has. Now, I'm sorry that I had to go into the replay system for this match, but I got 3 air kills kills in this match, and I forgot to press the record button. So I did want to show you this. This match made me go positive in my kill death ratio on this plane, so there is that, and a shit ton of ground targets, of course. Not in this match, but in other matches. Those 4 machine guns can net you a load of soft targets in there as well. So the ammo loads are decent on the 23mm cannons, and they are fantastic on the machine guns. Very nice indeed. Acceleration in this plane in a straight line is close to decent. It's not bad, especially not for a close air support plane that is not built for that necessarily. And the dive acceleration is actually good, which is surprising and fun. Now the energy retention in the horizontal is decent. You put on your war emergency power, put her in a straight line, and you're trying to hold some speed. It actually keeps the speed quite long, which is nice. In the vertical, it's only average now, especially with the rocket loads that was actually a hit in the game, but of course you don't see hits in the replay system. But didn't take a wing off, unfortunately. Probably one of the machine guns that took in that hit, and not one of the 23s. Otherwise, I would have expected some explosions. The Firebrand is really wanting us, but he basically stalled himself out, and this plane, although it is not fantastic in vertical energy retention, the handling at slower speeds is actually quite good, and the stall speed is quite nice, so we really turned around quick there and could just evaporate the Firebrand there without much of a problem, which was nice. Stall maneuver kills in this little bugger with the rockets and the bombs still attached. Oh yeah. The climb rate in the plane is decent. He can climb up to about 3,500 meters at 20%. And after that you gotta go to 15 to not go very slow at a certain point. But yeah, it's actually decent in this plane, which was also surprising. The turn time in the plane is bad though, and below average with flaps. The flaps only rip off at 560 kilometers an hour. Now look at this shot. A kilometer and 400 meters, 1400 meters. Yeah, those 23mm, man, they fly through. That was the shot that I wanted to use this footage for, to be honest. It was a very satisfying kill. But yeah, those 23s, man, they have surprised me. And very lethal still at long distances. Very good. Roll rate in this plane is bad. There's not really a speed where it becomes much better. So yeah, no, just all around bad maneuverability as well on this plane. It is definitely not a turner. But who would expect it from a heavily armored Soviet close air support, right? It's not something you would expect, so it's not something you're gonna get. Overheating this plane is not an issue. Absolutely not an issue there. You don't have to watch it. I have not seen this plane overheat at any point where I was flying it, so that is a good thing. The durability in the plane is good. It can take quite a bit of damage and soak it up and still bring you home. Of course, there's always an end to everything when it comes to that, but your random encounters here and there, your glazing shots or short burst on you will not immediately kill you, which is an absolute good thing. Now, as I said, the flight style in the plane is quite diverse. It is a close air support and an attacker, can be used very efficiently in ground attack, mixed battles, and you can use it as a support fighter as well very efficiently. And yes, very nice indeed. I lost sight of the fact that this is not a light pillbox, but actually a normal pillbox, and those things are way harder to destroy than a light pillbox, which are actually destroyable with a 23mm, as I will showcase a little bit further in this match. Of course, I mean some machine guns can already take it out, right? But, yeah, the Swedish and the 50 cals. So that's nice. Go. Some ground attacking for you here. As I said, those machine guns, they have a lot of ammo on them. And if you approach the targets correctly, you only need a little bit of ammo of those 4 machine guns here to get them. And you can strafe targets like this for a long time if the aircraft on the enemy side leave you alone, of course. That's always a question, right? That's always a question. That's what you need in this plane, so you need air cover from your squad mates. But you can set up a squad for that specifically if you want that. But the close air support role is nice. Can be an attacker in normal air RB and a support fighting role. Well, you know, I'm dogfighting a 0 here, that's not gonna work. So again, you're gonna need a 0 that is absolutely screwed. In energy then, I mean. Here we take some glancing hits, maybe some, I think they rolled off, right? Didn't take much damage. But I stalled him out for an ally, and that's also ways in which this stuff can be. A6M3, such a beautiful plane. Going up in a puff of smoke. But yeah, you can maneuver just a little bit. Plane. Here we go for the light pillboxes, for the showcase. See what it can do with just the guns. We lost every other ordnance already. Now being shot by a Kai 108 in the... Oh god. That's such a terrible plane, the Kai 108. But yeah. They approach you in the wrong angle. Can still be devastating. Now, we're low and my allies are in the neighborhood. You need a few more than just a few shots here, but the 23s are very efficient on light pillboxes. I think you'll only need like 8 to 10 rounds maybe on them, maybe less. Very nice as we go through the ground targets here. And the rewards on this plane are quite interesting as well, so there is that. I mean, but there is a lot of competition. It's a rank 4. You have the LA7, the LA11, you have the Spitfire, you have all sorts of nice premium planes that that you can go for, but they're all higher battle rating. The D9 as well, and the Yak 3 VK107, I believe. Yeah, so there's a lot of good premiums at this rank for the Soviets, and if you have to choose, then it's definitely a difficult choice. But if you want to use this plane in both ground RB and maybe in some column attacking and ground attacking in air RB, then this is definitely a good choice. It's the lowest battle rating premium in rank 4 for the Soviets, and it's a big difference from the Su-6s that are in the regular tree with the battle rating. So it might be worth it, your time in that sense. Personally, I would first buy almost all those fighters before I would buy this plane. But this is not a bad attacker, and if you buy it for that role, then this is definitely the best one. So yeah, definitely worth the money, this plane. It is not a bad plane. As we get shot eventually by the J2M2. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. The Su-6 at 4.3 battle rating, rank 4 premium for the Soviets. Very nice close air support, attacker slash support fighter. The 23mm guns, cannons are very efficient at the moment. Long range shots are very possible, and yeah, I quite like the plane. Of course, as I just said, I think a lot of the fighters in rank 4 premium Soviet land are fantastic, and me as a fighter pilot as my main role, let's say, I would go for those planes before I would go for this Su-6. But if you need a premium and you like ground forces, and you take your plane out there and you use it there, it's gonna be devastating. It's going to be devastating on the ground in air RB as well. It can defend itself a little bit as well in the support fighting role. If people make mistakes or come in with higher compression, then you will have a chance to shoot them down with these 23mm guns, supported by 4 machine guns as well. So the firepower is good on her. It's a good plane. She's worth her money. Good rewards. The lowest battle rating in the rank 4 premiums for the Soviets. So all in all, I would say she's worth her money, but make sure that you need this plane before you need the fighters, because otherwise I would say go for the fighters. But if you want it for the roles she can do, then this is a very good plane to have. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.